So it's about time. I haven't done this since probably the beginning of January when I was ranting on about how much I wanted a PlayStation 5. Spoiler alert, I mean, you probably know because I did mention it a couple of weeks back. I've got a PlayStation 5 now, but I want to talk gaming, and there's only one person I trust to talk gaming with, or I shouldn't say person, because if he's not available, I'll get someone else from the same place. It's the Rapid Review guys, rapidreviewsuk.com. Go find them, go subscribe to their podcast. They're a great bunch of guys, and I've only got the one and only Pete Beckett on with me. As always, Pete, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It's been a very busy week in gaming.
It has been a very busy week in gaming. In fact, I actually asked if we could do this did I say last week? No, I wanted to do it last week, but kind of forgot all about it and messaged you when I was like, can we do gaming next week? And you were like, yep, that's perfect. So yeah, I wanted to do it last week, spoiler alert, but I kind of was a bit late to try and get it penciled in, shall we say.
It's all right. Things happen, and it seems like we picked the perfect week because you got so many different things that happened over the last couple of days.
Yes, of course. Now, one thing I'm going to say to you, and you can see it now in my hand, I'm going to talk about the PlayStation 5 and the controller.
Yes, that's the first time I've actually seen it in person, the DualSense controller.
Now, what I will say is it's a little bit bigger than the PlayStation 4 controller. Not too much.
Yeah, just for reference, I've got the PlayStation 4 controller there, so...
Yeah. I mean, there's no difference in it, really. It's probably a little bit bigger. But when I saw the pictures, I genuinely thought it looked big, bulky, and horrible.
Yeah, I remember that conversation we had about it. You said it looked like an Xbox controller.
Yeah. All I'll say is I'm very wrong. It fits snugly in your hand. Look, I've got my hands nicely around it. It fits great. It's easy to play with. It's basically like the PS4 controller, but better. That's all I can say on the matter. So I was definitely 100% wrong about the controller, and it is definitely a plus side to it. The one thing I love about it is it's got pressured. Oh, I'm playing with I've got the PlayStation on in the background, and I'm just pressing the buttons, and the TV's flashing up at me. It's got pressured right R1 and R2 buttons.
Yeah.
Now I've played FIFA on it, and you notice the pressure, and it's really quite clever because if a player's running out of energy on FIFA, the R2 button where you use to sprint is pressured, so it's like you can't run anymore.
Yeah, I had heard about this obviously in games like Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, where when your gun jams or if you reload, then you'll get the adaptive triggers like tightening and loosening. And I'm really interested to see how that actually works in person because, full disclosure, I haven't got one.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you know what? They're becoming readily available now. I'm still subscribed to the PS5 console drops by Stock Informer.
Yeah.
And they seem to be dropping them quite regularly now. So I think they are starting to get the stock in now, and it's starting to kind of work a little bit better. And I don't think the bots are kind of buying them up as much now.
No, they seem to be losing their value really in terms of the resale market because they're becoming more available. But I have been looking, I've been keeping my eye on those stock drops myself, and it's just no luck at the moment. So I'll try again soon. We'll see how that goes.
Well, do you know the Argos drop that I got it on? I couldn't believe it. And to be fair, it was an essential trip. So I will say that because I was just going to the shop and back. That's all I was doing. I did have to drive an hour away to go to the shop to get it, but it was click and collect. I literally just went to the shop, didn't bother anyone, just went straight there, straight back. So
yeah,
that's my essential travel there for my mental health. There we go. Mental health. Yeah, I was up at. I was about to go to bed on the Monday night, and I thought I'll just check what's going on Twitter because that's where all the speculation happens. And for about about a week, they were all talking about this Argos drop that was going to happen, and it just day by day wasn't happening. And then Monday, I was literally about to go to bed, and literally they said, "Oh my God, I've just got myself a PlayStation 5," and I was like, "From Argos? What? What's going on?" And then people were saying it was all done by region and things like this. And I was thinking, okay, when's it going to hit the South? And I kept looking. And then I started to lose hope, and I thought it's not going to happen. And then someone from Twitter DM'd the most vital bit of information at 2:00 in the morning. I think I've been looking for 2 hours. 2:00 in the morning. Yeah. Dropped this bit of information where you had to go onto Argos's website, app, log into the app,
Yeah.
put the PlayStation 5 on the wish list, and then go to the wish list. It will let you add it to your trolley.
Yeah, I'd heard about this exploit as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So then, but then you had to go back onto the actual website. So on a PC or on your phone, I went on my PC because I thought it was a lot easier. Logged into my account, so it was still in the trolley.
Yep.
And literally, you just had to go find by postcode because they were only doing by collection, which was another good thing. It wasn't by um, delivery.
Yeah.
So the bots probably couldn't easily buy that up because they'd have to go and collect it in person. And literally, I was putting my postcode in. It said, "Oh, sorry, it's not in your area, but we can find one close to you." Oh my God, it was sending me to Grimsby. It was sending me to Bristol, about 400 miles away from where I actually live. And I was like, do you know what? I want a PlayStation 5, but I'm not driving that far to go and get one.
Yeah, I'm
And then,
pretty sure that's not essential travel either.
no. And then I managed to find one that was literally an hour away in the car. And I thought, I will happily go an hour away to get this and go back. And when
Yeah.
I got there when I woke up the next morning, I phoned up Argos straight away because I didn't know if it was legit or not, and went, is this PlayStation 5 legit? They were like, yeah, not a problem. It's there waiting for you. Went down. They got 18 in stock, and they said that by the time they put them on their stock, they had gone.
That's not really a surprise, is it, considering how many
No,
people are all looking for them at the moment?
no. And impressions of it, like I say, the controller I was completely wrong about. Interface I love. I think it's a great way because they separate the media and the games. So in the old PlayStation, it didn't matter what you had. You literally had to just choose. It was like the last window that was open type
Yeah.
thing, and then you had to go into TV, and then that would take you into another menu. But this is literally just two separate menus, and you've got games and media. I think this is where the future of maybe we're going to go, because on my PlayStation 5, in fact, I'll tell you now because I just get it up because I was just kind of watching the end of the football while we were just chatting there. On the media side of things, it says, it's just closing the app. I've got Sky, BT Sports, Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, Now TV, Disney Plus, and Spotify loaded up. So I can watch Sky without having my Sky box in my room, and I can watch all the channels. The only channels I don't get is BBC, but that's fine,
Yeah.
but I can get all of them. I think this is going to be revolutionary and how we maybe look at TV in the future. I honestly think it.
Yeah, it's just something that Xbox were trying to do last generation with the Xbox One, where you could hook a Skybox or anything like that through an extra HDMI port they had on there, and you could control it all through voice command and through your controller as well. And it didn't necessarily go down too well with the gamers, but I know that a lot of gamers are now embrace multimedia boxes like this, especially with having YouTube, Disney Plus, like you said, on there. I mean, I use my Xbox One X for Disney Plus because it's 4K streaming. It's one of the only devices that I have that enables 4K streaming. So
Yeah.
I see no problem with these consoles actually having them, and that's quite why I like the Switch as it is. It's just a dedicated gaming console. You do have
Yeah.
YouTube on there, but I don't use it often. I've got a phone for that.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, but for me, like for the likes of that, I've got a skybox in my room, but the room that I have my radio studio in, where we are now, is also where I do my Twitch streaming and everything from. So
Mm.
I don't really want to luff when I'm doing kind of Twitch stuff, and I kind of want to watch like football in the background or something like that. I don't want to take the skybox from my room into here just to put it back on. So having that on my PlayStation is a lifesaver, because I've literally, like I say, the Chelsea game's just finished and I've just kind of switched it off, but it was there in the background, so I could look and glance over and say, okay, it was still what the score was, and I'm happy with that. And if they'd scored, I probably would have gone, yeah, like that on camera, and that'd have been a bit embarrassing. But it's for that side of things, I'm impressed with. One thing I'm not impressed with is there doesn't seem to be many games out for it yet.
Big problem at the moment is there is a lack of software coming at present. There also seems to be a problem with upgrade paths, especially with certain games coming as well. So we'll talk about a little bit more about that at some point, obviously.
Sure.
But I'm just worried that they've put all their eggs into the basket of the PlayStation 5, but they haven't supported it enough with enough software available on day one.
Mm.
This was a big problem with the Xbox Series X as well, where there was a very distinct lack of exclusive content for that console, especially when they announced that Halo Infinite was getting delayed until 2021. Um, but I mean, the games that you've got available to you at the moment, I think in terms of the only software that is PS5 exclusive, I believe is Demon Souls, which I've heard is a great
Yes.
game, but it's one of the only games that takes full advantage of the system.
Yeah, no, exactly. And the one thing I did invest in was Cyberpunk 2077, the PlayStation 4 version, because obviously you can play
Hmm.
previous gen on here, but it runs better, I've been told, on the PlayStation 5 because of the capacity of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
And also when Cyberpunk 2077 is released, I get a free PS5 upgrade anyway. So
yeah.
I thought, do you know what? I'll invest in it now so I can play it. I'm going to be honest, I've played 5 minutes of it and I haven't really, I've played like the first opening bit of the scene. And when you get into your kind of apartment,
Yeah.
that's literally all I've played of it. I have not played any more of it.
Oh, okay. You must have taken a slightly different path that I did, because I started on the outskirts of Night City, because I think I took the Nomad route.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I took, which one? I can't remember which one I took, but I started in a bar
I believe that's
initially.
the it's either the Corpo or the Street Kid, I believe.
Street Kid, I think I took. Yeah, I think I took
Mm,
Street Kid. So I started in the bar, had to do a mission, um, and yeah, and then you end up at the end of the first kind of mission, you end up back at your apartment where you kind of save the game and things like that.
yeah.
That's literally where I've got to. I haven't picked it up since. So in a sense, I'm kind of disappointed because there's not much software out there. I've got FIFA. I've got the upgraded version of FIFA, the PS5 version. There is a new camera angle on it and some cutscenes as well, which I quite like. I like the new camera scene. It's given me the camera angle. It's given me a few more wins than probably what I would have had if I was on the old version. I maybe just be saying that for no reason, but yeah, largely I'm at the moment I'm disappointed with the PS5 because it doesn't have much going, but I'm not disappointed because I've wanted a PS5 and I'm glad I've got it. I've got it. It's a purchase for the future, really.
Exactly. You're not going to purchase this console knowing that it's going to be great out of the box immediately. I've dealt with enough software launches and console launches over my years. Yes, I'm old, I know, but most launches are never good. Specifically the one I remember the most standing out was the DS launch from 2004, where there was a distinct lack of decent software apart from Mario 64 DS, and it was months before we got anything half decent on that system. So just give it a bit of time. Based on
Mm.
the state of play direct style thing that they had earlier on in the week, there are games coming, and there are games coming sooner than you think.
Well, as we're kind of moving on to that, let's talk about the state of play and kind of talk about what's happened in it. Because from what I've been reading, they have been announcing a lot of new games. However, a lot of fans, and this would probably be including me if I'd watched State of Play, we wanted a bit more
Mm,
than what is actually reported from State of Play.
sure.
What do you think? What I mean, you've watched it, haven't you? So
Yeah, I watched it live actually. Like, this was, I mean, it wasn't late at night. It was like 10 o'clock in the evening, but it's still long enough to sort of go, yeah, I've had a full day at work. I'm not sure this was enough to keep me awake, let's say. But I did my bit for journalistic reasons, of course. So
of
um,
course.
I think one of the reasons why people were disappointed is because there are games that are coming over the next few months, that they've announced the release dates for and shown no more of. The
Mm.
biggest offender in that one is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, where they had announced a couple of days ago, or a couple of days before the state of play, the June launch date, but hasn't shown any more of the game, obviously, on the state of play. Now, I never expected it to be there because I think they were looking more towards the future. They were trying to give a spotlight to certain games that they had already shown, but not shown like real in-depth stuff about. Whereas Ratchet and Clank on the very first PlayStation Showcase that we had showing off the PS5, they gave a very big deep dive into that game, and I think that was probably enough to show us exactly what we needed. But it would have been nice to have a new trailer for that game specifically.
Mm.
But I was, with exception to a couple, I think there was some really good showings on the State of Play.
Okay. And just explain for people maybe listening who don't actually know what State of Play is. What is State of Play? Is it just a showcase for new games, new software, new like odd like accessories, that type of thing, or is it kind of what is State of Play?
State of Play is essentially a video package that Sony or a few other companies do it, like Nintendo. The easiest way to describe this is essentially like the Nintendo Directs, where they rapid fire quite a few games at you. You know, they'll show you trailers or gameplay footage, maybe give you an update into the developments of certain games, and then they'll drop some big announcements towards the end. And they did exactly that this time. But they usually run anywhere between 20 minutes and 45 minutes, sometimes maybe even an hour if they've got more to do. So like last year when the PlayStation 5 was first officially unveiled was through a State of Play, which they told us it was going to be about an hour. It took longer than an hour, but we sort of knew that there was something big coming from it. So.
Okay. So you obviously do the podcast with Keely. It's out. The next episode's out tonight, and you talk a lot about State of Play. Is that correct?
We did, yeah. So, full disclosure, I went on quite a lot of rants on that particular episode. I think Kylie did as well herself, but there were a couple of games that we both were in agreement that we probably shouldn't have been shown the way that they were, or some of the business practices behind the decision are quite ludicrous, let's say.
Okay, no worries. And where can we find the Rapid Review podcast so people can listen to your mini rants on the State of Play?
So you can listen to them, listen to the episodes on the Rapid Reviews UK webpage, which is www.rapidreviewsuk.com, or you can check us out on podcast players like SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and a few other platforms that I cannot remember off the top of my head.
I'd imagine just type in Rapid Reviews UK to get them.
It's Rapid Reviews Radio.
Rapid Reviews Radio. There we go. So, okay, moving on from PlayStation and kind of State of Play and my thoughts from it, let's talk about a big birthday that happened yesterday.
That would be Pokemon, which I've got my Pokemon t-shirt on for it.
Oh, very good. Yes, you have. So for me, obviously, I kind of briefly touched on it at the start of the show, saying that we're going to talk to you about Pokemon, and we played the Pokemon theme for the 25th birthday of Pokemon. I mean, what a theme that is. It's just an iconic theme. You literally know as soon as it starts playing, it's Pokemon. And 25 years old, and it's not just a video game. It's trading cards, it's movies, it's TV series, it's just an array of toys, cuddly toys. It's just an array of things. Am I right in saying that maybe Pokemon reached into the Beanie Baby world at one stage, or am I misconstrued on that?
Wow,
I might be completely misconstrued, but I thought Pokemon kind of went over into Beanie Baby world for a bit.
I mean, it is possible. I'm not 100% certain on whether that was the case, but I'll have to check that out.
There was a small selection of, well, I don't know if they're actually Pokemon Beanie Babies, but there's a couple here that look like it. Yeah, there is a Pikachu TY Beanie Baby.
Well, I can guarantee that they're worth $1,000 now at least.
$5.
Well, I'm so wrong then.
There you go. If you want a Pokemon a TY Beanie Baby Pokemon Pikachu 7 inches in mint condition, you can buy it for $5.
Sold. I might buy one myself.
There we go. So yeah, I was pretty sure I don't think they were successful, so that's why I don't think they were there for long.
Makes sense.
But I did have a funny feeling they did dip into it for some weird reason. But But yeah, so 25 years. What anything exciting happening for 25 anniversary? Let's reminisce about games.
Yeah.
Playing the old consoles. What's coming up?
Okay, so in terms of the 25th anniversary celebrations, it's actually started out with a virtual Post Malone concert, which is very unusual, I'd say. I'm not sure what Post Malone has to do with Pokemon, but apparently this is all organized through the Universal music group. So they've got certain artists like Post Malone, and I believe Katy Perry is doing something with Pokemon as well.
Okay.
Not my, not for me personally, but I know there are a lot of cross pollination between Katy Perry and
Yeah.
Pokemon fans. So fair enough. They had a presentation the other day where they announced a couple of games that are coming to obviously celebrate the anniversary, including bringing back the old dormant Pokemon Snap. So
Pokemon Snap. Explain.
Pokemon Snap was a game that was on the N64, which was basically like an on rails kind of shooter, but you were taking pictures of Pokemon. Uh,
Oh, okay.
the unique thing about it back in the day was this is showing my age, obviously, with blockbusters, where they would have
Yeah.
these print stations that you would take your memory card to, and you could print out the pictures that you've taken in game to actual photographs.
Oh, wow.
Which
Okay.
so they're doing something quite similar with this version on the Nintendo Switch, except rather than a print station, you just post them to social media. So
Okay.
really is sort of like the advancement of this series that loads of people have been clamoring for a new Pokemon Snap for years, and yet this is the time that they finally bring it back.
Yes, yes. No, of course. Well, I mean, for me, if I remember rightly, Pokemon obviously started with the trading cards and the TV series.
Sure.
Then obviously it ventured into the Game Boy. I had one of the original kind of, was it red, yellow,
And blue.
and blue?
Unless you're in
Yeah,
Japan where it was green.
green. Okay. And I had it on, I think, on the old black and white Game Boy. That's showing my
Mm,
age.
yeah.
One of the original ones. And then kind of moving on from there, the next kind of Pokemon game I really had was I think I did venture into the Game Boy Color, and I had one of the color ones.
Yep.
But then it was Pokemon Go on the mobile phone.
Hmm.
And now I've got Pokemon Pikachu on the Switch.
Oh, that'd be Pokemon Let's Go, which is
Let's
basically
go,
a
yeah.
remake of the first game.
Yes, exactly. And do you know what? I love it. But again, I've not picked that one up for a while. But I believe you can link the Go with the Let's Go.
You can, yes. There's a system that you've got nowadays. I think it's called Pokemon Home, which is
Okay.
it's like a cloud-based server where you can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Go, Pokemon Let's Go, and the new versions like Sword and Shield on the Switch, and the 3DS versions Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So
Okay.
they store in like this bank, kind of like how you had it on the original games where you'd put them in a PC. It's essentially that, and then you can sort of freely trade them between each particular version which you want to do, which I think is a really good system, except it costs quite a lot of money to do.
Oh, does it?
I'm not sure how much the monthly fee is, but there is a monthly fee,
Uh,
probably of about maybe about £5 or £6 or something.
I suppose you could, if you're very quick and you do it within the month, you probably just do it and quickly transfer them across. But to be honest, I've not played Pokemon Go on my mobile phone for ages, so probably all the Pokemon
Mm,
that I've had are probably all disappeared, and probably not to a good standard that I'd probably want to put them in Let's Go.
yeah, well, it's been a while since I've played Pokemon Go as well, so I can't imagine what's happened to my Pokemon there.
What I want to know, because when we were talking about this off air, you said that there was actually a Pokemon trading card computer game.
Yeah,
I'm
they are.
intrigued to know more.
Yeah, it was essentially what the trading card is in real life, except on a video game, and they've had loads of different versions of it. It started out on the original Game Boy, the black and green version, like you said. I believe they then released a color version, but most of the time now, I think they have it on PC.
Okay.
So there is
Okay.
still a route to play the trading card game through a browser, I believe, but I'm not sure how to access it.
That's fine. And do you think people still collect Pokemon cards?
Oh yes, of course they do.
Yeah.
There
Oh,
are some avid, diehard fans out there that I hear about through the internet who still are on the hunt for shiny Charizards from Generation 1. Like, those cards cost thousands of
I was
pounds.
going to say, aren't they very expensive Generation ones?
Yes, they are. Like the shiny Charizards, shiny Blastoise, like shiny Venusaurs, anything like that are gonna cost at least £1,000.
Thing is, how did the trading card game actually work? Because if I remember rightly, when I was at school, I used to have like hundreds of cards, and I'd
Mm.
just go, "Oh, I've got 5 Squirtles, and I really want a Bulbasaur or something like that. I'll trade you the 5 Squirtles for the Bulbasaur." That was kind of like the thing, wasn't it? But if you
Mm.
wanted to play the game, how did it actually work?
Oh, this is going back some. I have to remember how to actually play it because it's been
That's
so many years. Um, I think what it was is like each card has moves on them, and it would show you the cost of energy to them. So you'd have to make sure that you had a particular card along with an energy card to make sure that you could actually pull the move off. I believe there was a HP value on the top of the card as well, and it will show you how much damage that each move would do. So I believe the Charizard had a move. I think it was like a fire-based move that hit for like 60 HP if you connected it, of course. But I'm not sure how. Outside of that, I'm not sure how all the potion cards, the energy cards, all the trainer cards, and all that work. So that's a good question to be fair, because it's been so many years.
I mean, I'm just looking now for a uh, Pokemon Charizard Holo Rare 1999 base set. How much do you think?
I'm gonna go with about 2,500.
Nope, £295.
Oh man, I'm well off in
There,
my estimation then.
well, there is one here that I've just found. It's a Pokemon Charizard first based set PSA 7 Halo 1996 Japan. Gives you the rarity and what it's like.
Mm.
It's all in Japanese, but guess how much?
Well, you said the other one was like £200, so this one's, I would imagine, a little bit more expensive. I'll go 500.
£24,995.
God,
They go from one extreme to another.
brilliant.
Oh,
That's
dear
the
me.
deposit of my house gone then.
Yeah, right. I'm just going to go out and buy 4 of them. Yeah, why not? But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a crazy game, Pokemon cards. I mean, I actually have no idea what happened to my set of Pokemon cards. And I think we had first gen because I think my Pokemon was actually huge in the States before it came over here. And I
Yeah.
think my parents had gone to Vegas and I think they bought these. I mean, I remember coming back and they had like a Pokemon rucksack and a Pokemon, and they bought all these Pokemon cards back.
Hmm.
And they were kind of going, this is like the big thing in America, we brought this over for you. And we were kind of going around school with these Pokemon rucksacks. People going, oh, what's that? And we're like, oh, some kind of cartoon. And then a couple of months, or I think it was about a year or so later, that was it. Pokemon was in. Pokemon was the thing.
Yeah.
And I think we had one of like the first gen cards. I never got a Charizard, but they're going for 24 grand. I kind of wish I had a Charizard.
Yeah, that was always the card that eluded me the most, was the Charizard. It was one of my favorite Pokemon back in the day, and yet never found that shiny Charizard.
Okay, well, have we got any more news from Pokemon or PlayStation or anything that you want to else discuss before we kind of wrap up?
In terms of Pokemon, actually, I think the only other thing that we can mention is that there are big fans of the games themselves got their wish finally after
Go
months
on.
and months of discussions that the DS versions Diamond and Pearl are getting remakes
Oh, okay.
in the new engine. So I think a lot of people are finally gonna actually be happy for once, because I don't know if you see anything to do with Pokemon, but a lot of time it's a lot of complaining.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Now, do you think, and this is just a random question, but do you think Pokemon would do well on a PlayStation or an Xbox? I'm talking about one of the games.
I think Pokemon's so universal you could put it on anything and it will absolutely do gangbusters. Just just look at Pokemon Go. It was like the most downloaded game of all time, and I think it hit over 3 billion downloads, didn't it?
Oh wow.
At some point. So the scope of Pokemon, like they're essentially becoming more pop culture than anything. With the fact that the movie came out a couple of years ago. Yeah, I think you could put it on anywhere and it would do numbers, but the only problem is that Nintendo are very much heavily invested in the Pokemon company, which is why it will probably never happen.
No, of course, of course. Okay, final question then on Pokemon. Who is your favorite character?
It's so tough. But I would have to say that probably I'm a fire type more than anything. So
Okay,
I'm going to go with one of the legendary birds, which was Moltres.
nice. Do you know mine was always Ditto?
Ditto is cool, but he's very underrated.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just liked him because he was just like a little bluff of jelly. Don't know that's pretty my reason. But of course, I think coming second to Ditto is Pikachu, and I think
Yeah.
everyone loves Pikachu. I think Pikachu's, if you had like your top 5 Pokemon, Pikachu is one of the top 5.
Oh,
And
for
I don't care
sure.
what
Yeah.
anyone says. Don't care what anyone says. Pikachu is a top 5.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why Pikachu's made it into every single Smash Brothers game. He's got a legacy.
Yeah.
He is essentially the mascot of the entire series.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. But there we go. Pete, anything else you want to talk about gaming world? What's going on?
I think that's mostly it, actually. Like, there's been a lot of big news, but we talked about the state of play, the Nintendo stuff with the Pokemon Company, and other than that, we're just waiting for more games to come out for those new consoles, aren't we?
Of course, yeah, of course. Well, Pete, I do hope you get yourself a PS5 at some point. I'll
Mm,
if I find any of these alerts, I'll kind of ping them to you as soon as I can, so that you can try and get one of the consoles, because you have to be quick to get them. That's for sure.
yeah.
And just remind everyone where they can get the latest gaming reviews and podcasts.
So you can follow Rapid Reviews on the internet. We're pretty much nearly everywhere. So the website is www.rapidreviewsuk.com, where a load of incredible and great writers are all writing reviews and pieces like every day. The podcast can be followed on various different platforms, like I said earlier. But other than that, follow Rapid Reviews on Twitter at Rapid Reviews UK.
Perfect. And for the podcast, just type in Rapid Reviews Radio.
Yes, that's right.
Pete, thank you so much. Can we catch up again soon and talk gaming?
Anytime, mate. Just give me a message.
No worries. Thank you. There we go. That was the fabulous Pete Beckett there from Rapid Reviews UK. And we've still got loads more to come up on the show. So stay tuned. You listen to Stuart Armour here on Reclaimed Radio.